So one of the more frustrating things about this whole process has been trying to get hold of my dad's wife, Irene.
So quick side note here. My mum and dad raised me together until I was at secondary school, but they were never really a couple. They tried to make it work, but it wasn't meant to be, and they never got married. So being married to Irene the whole time my mum and dad were together wasn't some crazy act of bigamy by my dad. It was just dishonest.
When I found the marriage certificate between Dad and Irene 10 years ago, that was really the first thing that made me want to look into Dad's life more, because when I realised that he'd managed to keep a secret wife from all of us all these years, it made me think, what else might he have been lying about or keeping from us? And yeah, I've always had in my mind that I wanted to meet this woman. They obviously had a relationship close enough to get married, and from what I can tell, they never got divorced. So they were together technically for 30 years or something like that. But finding her has been really difficult, and I haven't had very much information to go off. Just the marriage certificate itself, which has her full name on it, Irene Faith Deborah, and the fact they were married in Birmingham in 1974. And really, that's it. By Googling her name, I was able to find out that there is a match with that name of a woman who would be the same age as Irene, living in Virginia in America. And I was able to find a bunch of phone numbers and addresses related to that name. So I immediately got on the phone and started calling the numbers to see if I could get hold of someone or to get hold of her directly. All the numbers were out of service, and it seemed that the information that was online may not have been that great. But it also suggested she might have had a daughter named Stella. So I've been searching for her as well, but again, the emails I've sent and the calls that I've put in haven't led me anywhere. And because she's a lot older, she'd be in her 80s now, there isn't a lot of stuff online. She doesn't have a social media presence. She's not exactly putting out videos on TikTok every day. So yeah, it's been a bit frustrating. The one good lead that I did get was when I realised that there were 2 witness signatures on the marriage certificate, which I hadn't even thought about for a long time because they're sort of scribbled down there and it just didn't register with me. But I knew that Dad had been studying at Birmingham University in 1974, which is the time he got married. And I was able to get a list from the uni of everyone that graduated with Dad's degree at the same time that he graduated. Had an email from Helen, who works at Birmingham University of Birmingham. She's given me a list of all the people that graduated in local government and administration, masters in 75, and there's a list of like 15 people. But what I'm wondering is, if I Google any of these people, am I gonna find someone that maybe would have known either Dad or Irene at the time? And actually, it's probably worth me checking out. You know, I'm gonna check the marriage certificate, because there are a couple of witnesses on the marriage certificate anyway. It looks like one of the witnesses at Dad's wedding to Irene in 75 is one of the people on the list. The third person down on that list is a guy called Mohammed Badran. And on the marriage certificate, it says it was signed in the presence of L. Tweddle and M, and I mean, it looks a bit like M. Badran, but I would say, like, that says M. Badran, like, easily could be. So we have L. Tweddle there, and that one at the bottom, I think that could easily be M. Badran. M. Badran. And that is the guy on here, or potentially that's the guy on here, who is Mohammed Badran. Like, I mean, what are the chances that it's not?
If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one.
I was able to track him down, and he was listed as a partner at a law firm in Cairo. And so I emailed him straight away and was like, oh my God, so amazing to find you. I think you were at my dad's wedding in 1974 and I'm his son that you won't have met, but I'm trying to find his wife and I think you're the key to finding it and sorting all this out and giving me some answers. And I thought I'd probably get a reply pretty quickly, but I didn't hear back for a few days, and then it was a week and I still hadn't heard back, so I sent another email and I didn't hear back from that either. So I tried to call the law firm and there was no answer there either. And then through a little bit more digging, I found out that Mohammed had died 3 months earlier. And it was so gutting to find that out because that really was the one good link I had to finding Irene. And it turned out that he was now gone, and with it, so was any chance really of finding Irene through the information that I had on the marriage certificate. This was obviously a huge part of Dad's life, and it would be really interesting to know what their relationship was like, when they met, how long they stayed together, and you know, all that kind of stuff. Because Irene's now in her 80s, I really feel like time is of the essence. I don't know how much longer she's going to be around for, if she is even still alive now. The fact that it's been so difficult has meant that time has dragged on even more. I just hope I can find her while she's still around to be found.
Guys, thanks for watching. There'll be a new episode out next Friday.